very much. Thank you. Thank you.
You know, this
Thank
is
you
so
very much,
important.
everybody.
I'm going to come back and take your calls, but when we post this to YouTube and places, I'm going to put the rest of the speech on here because this is the speech Hillary is scared of. This is the Donald Trump speech they don't want you to see. And it just gets more and more powerful, and it's all true, 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 true. Okay? This is amazing. I feel so good that I endorsed Donald Trump a year ago. I'm Alex Jones, your host. Matthew, Jason, David, Mike, Buckley, and many others. We're going to your phone calls right now on any issue you wish to break down or get into. Jason in the great north of Canada. You're on the air. Welcome.
Hi, Alex.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I had an idea regarding Trump if he needs funding. And I just wanted to share it with you. I don't know if it's a good idea or not. You know, I don't understand all the election rules or anything like that, but if Trump needs money, how about they set up some sort of donation type setup online or whatever with a fixed amount. So either, a dollar donation or like $17.76, something like that. Then what you do is you raise money. All the donors, you can't really call them lobbyists at $17 or $1. And you also have a very accurate count of the people supporting Trump that you can use against the false narrative of Hillary's success.
That's a good idea. I appreciate your call, Jason. I'm going to go through a lot of calls quickly here, but let me just briefly comment. I didn't get Roger to talk about this. We talked about it in a lengthy conversation Sunday afternoon, and this was not off record, this part, because I have notes here, that Trump won't sit there and do what Adelson wants to get the 100 or 200 million he's been offered, so that's withdrawn to a great extent. That's newsworthy. And these other people are offering big money, and he just won't agree to do stuff when they tell him. So he's not getting big money, and that's just another endorsement of the guy. It's like, wow, that never happens to the presumptive nominee. That said, though, the smart money is on the fact that Trump needs to just not just self-fund and spend, it's $55 million now, it was 45 of his own money. If he says he's got $10 billion, that's not just the assets of his buildings and golf courses and stuff. I know he's always used other people's money and investments, made them money and made him money. That's fine, that's ethical. You're running for the United States during a global crisis of world government. You will be George Washington, 21st century, if you deliver and stop this. I mean, most of these guys are about to die with cancer, and then they give all their money to some charity or something that the globalists grab and use. You know, don't be like Carnegie or Mellon or the Fords or whatever. The word is Trump does have probably $15, $20 billion in assets, but liquid, maybe a couple billion. And I don't know if that's wrong, but that's how it usually works, okay? I know he wants to keep some money to battle the war chest. That's smart. Spend $1 billion. And I know he's a smart guy. He thinks he can somehow self-fund. It isn't happening so far, you know, or small donations. And I think Trump should just say something like, I'm giving $10 million. Will you match it? And then people do give $17.76. So we could call this video right here as we're live a plan for Trump to raise $1 billion released. I mean, that's a smart plan. You know, he starts giving $10 million a week of his own money. He goes out, pledges it, has the check, and then it's a publicity event. And as he goes to these states, he says, I need all of you to go to my political website. And he gives out the URL. I need you all to give $17.76 and invest in your children's future and our whole future. That's what I'm doing. And I'm giving back now. I know it's very hard for people that are able to amass these giant fortunes to just put money out there without other people being part of it. So I think that's probably the way for him to do this. But I think that says everything. I mean, look, they've got it all written where special interests can come in and manipulate stuff, but they don't want rich people who could be mavericks like a Ross Perot or a Donald Trump to do this. And that's the other issue. We know they threatened Ross Perot's family, threatened to kill his wife. He said the Bushes did it. I mean, it came out in the news. He gave a press conference. Almost nobody covered it. Yes, my wife and daughter were threatened, and I'm done. You're crazy if you go with this Bush. All I'm telling you right now. By the way, Napton and Get, you're going to hear a giant second sound. You want to lose your jobs? I've got polls out where 30-something% of employers say if things go to $15 an hour minimum wage, they're going to lay people off. You'll have to. Those are entry-level jobs where you're hiring some teenager for $6, $7 an hour. They're not even worth it to train them at that level. I mean, you got to bring in, say, 5, 6 interns before you find a couple that are good. We just do paid interns, but then people better work immediately, and we find some really good people. But usually interns are so dumb in college that they go get a job at a radio station, just kind of lazy. Can I do anything? Get you any lunch? Oh, what do I do? Man, I went an intern in radio. I was like, let me help you cut those ads. Let me learn to splice that. Back then, was still cutting the film, the tape. And let me get into sales. Yeah, let me go into sales meetings. Let me go to a sales lunch with you. Let me get into sales. Let me see what I can do. Yeah, I want to get on air. Yeah. Then, of course, the jealousy kicks in of the salespeople a year later when you're making more money than they are. And you're younger, you're better looking, you got top ratings, better than Howard Stern had at night. He was on the same station as me. I had better ratings at night than Howard Stern had locally. They were paying like $300,000 a year for a show. And they just flipped. It was really weird. They got a new manager. They were like so jealous. That's what I started to figure out. A lot of people don't like success, really. Hold on. We're going to go right back to your calls. Nathan, Trance, Margaret, Mika, Buckley, and others. Let's go to Mika in California. You're on the air worldwide.
Hi, Alex. I know you like to cover CPS stories about the CPS taking away children needlessly.
Well, I don't like to cover it, and quite frankly, I kind of shy away from it because it gets me really freaked out. But yes, we do cover it sometimes.
Cover it better and more than most. So,
yes.
One thing that I've noticed is that no one has really asked the question, why have the children of the San Bernardino shooter and the Orlando shooter not been taken away from their families?
Holy mackerel. I didn't even know that was the case. Yeah, they can take your kids away for, some cases, yelling at them, they claim, or letting your 10-year-old play in the backyard at 6 o'clock in the afternoon if you go to get a pizza. Everything we did as kids. But or I guess your kid says, I want brownies, and the word brown is racist now or whatever. The police get called. You're telling me I didn't know that they didn't take the kids away from those freaks?
If they have, I haven't heard about it, and that's what's concerning me. They can take it away if you smoke pot, but when your family members shoot 50 people, then the kids go to the grandparents.
I was about
or the wife.
I was about to add, it's apples and oranges. But Bill Clinton's the one that set a quota where every year, if the locals get federal money, the quota on the number of kids taken has to increase. Just like it was Bill Clinton came up with minimum sentencing, and then black people worship him when he's totally a known racist. I mean, he did have a baby with a black lady. But the point is, in the Deep South stuff, it's like a culture to feed on black people. It's like Tulia, Texas, where 90-something% of the prison population was black. And then the local town whites actually owned the private prison. They were planting drugs on the remaining like 85-year-old black people with no criminal record just to put them in prison and take their property. I mean, there is that type of racism that goes on. And then when it goes on, nothing's done about the real bona fide that you can have through a police state. But yes, sometimes social workers do a great job. I know social workers that help old people do a wonderful job. Sometimes they work with realtors to know when somebody's old and sick to help take their house. So it does attract predators. There's a lot of child molesters that get into it. And absolutely, they let Muslims do stuff to their women and their kids that's illegal because it's, quote, their culture. And so I should look into that. I mean, are you sure of that, or are you asking that question?
No, this is something that I haven't heard anyone follow up on, and I would love to hear you follow up.
Well, I know this. What type of freaks would go kill their coworkers for Allah and then not and do that? I mean, and leave your kids behind. That's a great point. But again, this is the freakish behavior. I appreciate those points. And I'll tell you, it's the worst I've ever seen it. Even in British newspapers now, they won't say Islamic terror. And I sat there yesterday and some this morning watching the news, and they would not call it Islamic terror or jihad or even ISIS. I mean, they won't even say who takes credit for stuff now. You got to dig that ISIS took credit for the attack in Turkey that killed 40-something people, the bombs, the machine guns. Oh, guns are illegal, but it still happened. And but they say, we've got to have more checkpoints and more of your rights taken because this happened in Turkey. It's very, 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 very frustrating. I want to go to more of your calls, and then I've got to get to this clip. It was Matt pointed this out this morning. He said, you got to play this, Alex. And he's absolutely right. I'm really bad about not getting to these bombshell clips. Morning Joe blasts Loretta Lynch for privately meeting with Bill Clinton amid email probe, MSNBC. Meanwhile, Lynch said no conflict of interest in Clinton investigation, despite Obama endorsing of Hillary. Ladies and gentlemen, it is totally illegal when the Justice Department is over the FBI and the FBI is involved in a criminal, admittedly, investigation of Hillary, to have her meet with the Clintons. I mean, this is unbelievable. But it's just like Obama saying, I'm going to open the borders up to illegals and not even test them for diseases. You don't even care about the illegals? No, it's about just like, I need another book or something so I could smash something together. Somebody bring me another book, please. It's just taking America and Latin America and Asia and all these poor people and just slamming our heads together. They're not overrunning the evil gringo white people to get us. That's on the surface. It's just slam us together, like conking our heads together. Thank you. I mean, you want to see what the New World Order's doing with their policies to Mexico and the U.S.? You think Mexico or the U.S. is winning? No. Nobody's winning except the stinking globalists who just, like buzzards, they want rotten, dead societies they can feed on. Now, let's go back to your phone calls. I'm going to play that clip. Let's talk to Nathan in Arizona. Nathan, you're on the air. Thank you for holding.
Hey, Alex, first-time caller. Been a listener for probably about 2 years now. I'm originally a Cleveland native, living out here in Phoenix, Arizona now. But I started things from my childhood I kind of put together. When I was growing up, a good friend of mine, actually my best friend, their family hosted the Clintons at their private house for a campaign for one of the Democratic, I believe it was a governor running at the time back in 2000. But they hosted the Clintons at their private residence. And the guy, he's a Arab American, a Syrian American. And I was researching just as of late, and he comes out to be one of the largest Democratic supporters the state of Ohio as far as fundraising.
Oh, yeah, listen, here's the deal. So, the Muslims are pouring money into everybody. And, I mean, again, it's a bunch of foreign interest. It's sickening.
What I was seeing is, I'm thinking is, you know, this may be why that the Trump campaign is having some problems in Cleveland getting things, you know, going. And just from growing up in Cleveland, I know how kind of backdoor, mobbish type under-the-table dealings there is. And especially, you know, when you got somebody...
Sure, well, I want to explain something to everybody. When they act like thugs and try to block us and we win the federal lawsuit and then they still claim they're going to back off but just give us a new BS plan, we're winning. We're making them act like the thugs they are. And we're showing up and we're going to be mental, cultural, and physical giants compared to the drooling idiot renamobs of, you know, the slaves of Sauron. The slaves of Soros. And that was actually a Freudian slip. I literally just said that. That was not on purpose. The slaves of the Nazi collaborator dirtbag. So I'll be there. We're all going to be there. And we're going to have airplanes flying around Hillary for president. I got a bunch of tricks up my sleeve, so get ready.
And, we had to go get water for Bill Clinton because he actually wouldn't drink any water that was, I think it was Evian at the time, that they had for the party, the fundraiser, and we actually had to go get him some kind of different kind of water.
What kind of water did he want? What kind of water do you want?
Well, actually, he wanted something American-made, which I can respect that. But if you want to get better, you know, political correctness, you know, wouldn't that be racist? I mean,
well, let's expand on it. He probably had a particular brand he wanted. Was it?
No, I believe it was just something that they had in the Cleveland area. And now that I remember, just something local.
Yeah, interesting. Well, that how did Bill act? Was he nice and friendly?
Hey, and the thing too that we had a joke going on because the guy Tony George that was hosting it, his wife actually was on Baywatch. So we had a ongoing joke. I had my friend. I said, "You better watch Bill with your mom. You know, don't want something happening."
Yeah. All right, good to hear from you, my friend. Thank you, Nathan. Let's go ahead now and take a call from Buckley. Buckley in Missouri. Thanks for holding her on the air.
Thanks for having me, Alex. I appreciate it.
Thank
I
you.
just wanted to introduce you and your listeners to a fantastic film that will inspire